Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Build live from Oak Hill Works. How are we all doing this evening? I hope we are well. I want to point out I did not miss the cue when the pre-stream chat ended. That was my button not working. We are joined this evening by Christopher, who can back that up.
I can indeed. Hello everyone.
It's a bit weird that didn't work because I've literally used that loads and loads of times for recording videos. But there we go. Gosh, a bit loud. Well. Do we not expect my intros to be loud yet, James?
Oh, that was actually quieter than the one last night for me video you did after the event.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I know I'm trying to make it a bit quieter these days, but where's the fun in that? I have a reputation. So, I hope we are all well. As you can see, we have a D class in front of us.
2 Ds in 2 days.
It's going to pretend that I know what I'm doing. Because in true super professional fashion of this weekend, seriously lacking in instructions this evening. Oh yes, Christopher's sitting halfway across the room, you see.
He is.
With his feet up on the sofa.
Yeah. No hard work today.
He's been sat at the workbench all day, bless him. And now he's run away. Move that cable out of the way.
It's been a Super D yesterday, a London Northwestern one, and then this one.
There we go. I've sorted out my camera. It wasn't quite in the clip right. It was going to bug me all night if I didn't do that. So
Yeah, I can understand that.
It's done. God, I really hope the quality is coming through better than what I'm seeing right now. Unfortunately, my internet is a bit iffy this evening. It has been up and down and all sorts.
It is on my phone.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the phone quality is much better on TV.
Excellent, glad to hear it. So, yes, the D class. Obviously, we got a lot of work done on this last time. We did not get the front buffer beam on, which was because I was replacing the buffers with sprung buffers. They would not fit. My drill bit was not big enough. They now do fit because I've drilled them out and I've filed the old bits because it's got the square plates that are the back of the buffers on the mouldings, whereas the sprung buffers have that plate. So I've filed that off and that is ready to go. I have also drilled out the holes on the back of the tender, so hopefully we can get all the buffers on tonight and it'll look a little bit better. On top of getting the tender built and having a D class.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not much else to do. There's what you see in front of you, and there's a tiny bag of parts. They really are nearly there already. It's quite scary. How did that happen? If someone could let me know, that'd be great. So, let's turn the soldering iron on, and let's get on.
With it.
No, I'm definitely not with it.
No.
I don't know what gives you that idea. For those that missed it last night, we were live over on Christopher's channel. It was a significantly less professional stream because Christopher's much more relaxed about these things than me. And
yeah, for those who missed it last night,
you have missed
probably
it.
For the best.
Yeah. No one's denying that it would be for the best that you missed it.
Yeah, that one was. Yeah.
You won't see it again because the stream has been permanently deleted. Yeah. It's that level of for the best.
There is a cover video there instead now, which we're still looking a bit silly, but it's fun.
But of course, we finished that stream at midnight. Then we took 2 attempts recording that video, but Christopher didn't leave to go back to his hotel till 3 o'clock.
Yeah. That's true.
So I'm not entirely with it. I'm a little bit tired. Right, the soldering iron appears to have heated up. So we can begin. Oh, my TV just flashed at me. That's not good. Good evening, Jerry. How are you this evening?
Hi, Jerry.
Good to have you with us.
Even Luke's wishing he hadn't seen it. I think that means we won.
Yeah, does that does mean we won, Luke. Excellent. Glad to hear it. Never thought I'd say that. So, first thing we're going to do, we are going to dismantle these two buffers. We are going to tin the brass buffer housing, ready for it to be soldered to the white metal.
Becca's not with it either, apparently.
I'm glad it's not just me.
No.
Have I covered soldering brass to white metal on the channel yet?
Not so I can remember.
I know I've recorded a video that does it. I can't remember
I don't think so, no.
whether it's gone live yet.
It wouldn't hurt to have more than one.
So, for those wondering, yeah, I'm about 3 weeks ahead with videos at the minute. So, I'm doing great, but I can't remember what you have and haven't seen.
You chance.
Yeah, usually I just log into YouTube and ask it.
Dear you, have I done this yet?
It's pretty much how it goes. So, yes, soldering brass to white metal. If white metal solder was really amazing and did everything and soldered brass really well, we wouldn't use proper solder. We'd use white metal solder. It's lower temperature. It's safer. So, we first tin the brass with regular solder. In my case, 6040 lead tin. That was a bit loud. So we have a nice hot soldering iron, and we will put flux on and tin the buffer shank ready to attach. Once this has been tinned, we then use the white metal solder to solder the solder onto the white metal. Yo, dog.
Wow. Yes, thanks, Jerry. I'm good, thank you.
Yes, as am I. Becca was quoting me, clearly. I'm not with it. Also, let's touch this really hot thing.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, that is basically how this is going. So, here we have solder. Here we have really hot thing. Here we have thing we are soldering to. And here we have tinned buffer, even out of focus. You can see that that's not bare brass anymore. So we then need to disassemble the other buffer. What I should really do is screw the nuts back onto the buffers to stop the springs from going everywhere. That is a good idea. Good ideas sometimes happen here. I mean, not very often, but sometimes. I'm failing to screw a nut on. I do hope everyone is enjoying this.
Smash like for fame screw nuts to the phone.
There we go, we got it. All those likes that must have just appeared really helped. That they sorted it. Thank you everyone for those likes.
There we are.
Very much appreciated. And if you haven't liked the stream yet, tell me why. Because, you know, I'd like to know. And if you're my hater that occasionally pops up and hits the dislike button, don't worry, I love you. We're all good.
That's why your channel doing better than mine. I haven't got a hater.
Haters are important.
Yeah, they show you're doing well.
Much love to the haters. I don't know what it is going on with your life that means you have to come on YouTube and dislike videos. But, you know, it'll be okay.
I think I will glue the table up.
Riveting. No, screwing, Becca, not riveting. Yeah, fair enough. I'd probably do the same, actually, James. I don't think I would bother sending it back. I'd be like, now I can fix this, let's do it. I'd probably make it 10 times worse, but there we go. Let's turn the soldering iron down.
Send them some pictures and see if they'll give you some of your money back first, though.
Ah, that's a good idea.
Then you win.
Good idea, Christopher. Take pictures, send them pictures, and say, look, you've sent me this table, it's broken, I want a partial refund.
I only wanted half of it anyway, so...
Really know you've made it if you have haters. Exactly, James.
Yeah. It's weird, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a weird concept. I actually want someone to dislike my video.
Right, did you hear that, everyone? Christopher wants someone to dislike his videos. Chat, do me proud.
It's PG enough to say it's people like you that cause unrest.
No. I cause dislikes on YouTube videos. So the problem with this part is getting it to stand upright because it's got these two rather annoying bits on the back here, which are very curvy. Thank you, Becca. Very much appreciated. Told you before, Christopher, my viewers are the most awesome viewers in the world. If I need them to help me out by doing things like disliking your videos because you've asked for it, they will do it. We're doing well here. I'm totally getting this to stand up.
That's karma for you.
No, van. I'd drive a van, not a car. You've got no response. There we go, it's in. No. Yes, my lord, says Javier. Thank you, Javier, as well. What wonderful viewers I have, eh, Christopher?
It will fall off.
Better than the other one. So we're just applying a little bit of white metal solder now. It's obviously sticking to the white metal.
Anyway, don't call him my lord, Javier. It's harder for him to get his head through the door than it is.
And also to the solder on the back of the brass, but not to the brass itself. There we go, it fell off. Just for you, Christopher. Also because it was at a slight angle and I wanted to correct it.
You know, it's freaking me out. I'm watching the preview on your TV.
Which is...
I can see you in the corner and your hands onto the same place. It's scary.
No, it's 20 seconds behind on the telly. I can't get it back in. That's not what he said.
Watch on record, that was Gary that started this. Right, the gloves are off now. No, they're not joking.
This is covered in too much solder now. This is how not to solder, everyone. And that's how not to move a soldering iron around a camera. And that's how to correct it. That was a pliers drop, not a mic drop, for those wondering.
Like a mic drop, but more modelly.
Yeah. But they make 3D printed figures. The Welsh, you don't pronounce it as a U. Christopher looks impressed at my joke, everyone.
Small.
I learnt that from someone learning Welsh.
Is that like learning Dutch, where the people that speak it go, why no one speaks it? Literally, my brother was learning Dutch, started to learn Dutch, and his Dutch friend said, why no one speaks it?
That button doesn't work either. Interesting. Have lots of buttons that don't work. I like for the day Gary solders a buffer to his camera. I wouldn't put it past me, Becca. I really wouldn't. Even though the camera's made of plastic.
What did I do now, Lily? You made them self-conscious, mate. You learnt Welsh.
Taught me Welsh things. Yeah, taught me Welsh things. So this is the part of the show where we need 7 hands. Unfortunately, I am still human. That's what my doctor says anyway. Because there is just a bit too much solder on here. Which if I wasn't incompetent wouldn't be the case. Just saying. Linny's been promoted to mod. Don't know about how I did. Linny was promoted to mod a few weeks ago when Linny was busy pointing things out to people that they shouldn't be saying and the mods weren't. So I just went, yeah, well done. Thank you, Linny, for helping. Be a mod. True story. Now we wait for this to be a slightly less really hot stick. Because, contrary to popular belief, 200 degrees is still quite hot. For anyone wondering why there is a dog whining in the background, no, that's Christopher. I don't know what set him off. Welsh words like popty ping. The correct pronunciation of modderly in this case. But yes, words like that. Welcome to Gary not dropping everything. Oh wait, sorry, you're tuned into the wrong show. This is Gary definitely dropping everything. And that's Gary putting the buffer at an angle whilst he waits for the soldering iron to cool down, because it still hasn't cooled down. And that's Gary dropping the buffer out of the buffer beam. I'd like to point out, I never claimed this wasn't fiddly, just that it wasn't hard. I'm going to put some more flux on here. Seriously, he's sitting in the corner completely losing it. I have no idea why.
Alfred.
There's also
Harold.
smoothio, which is Welsh word for ironing. Welsh word that won't get used in this house. Gary, why do you wear t-shirts and jeans everywhere? When have you ever seen someone iron t-shirts and jeans? Don't say these things, Christopher. This is my stream. You're not supposed to contradict me. I'm sure I didn't do that on your stream yesterday. Let me finish the sentence.
No. All you did on my stream was make wild accusations about me.
I don't believe I said anything that wasn't true. You missed a great show, but be glad you missed it. Welcome to stream where Gary spends 3 hours getting 4 buffers in their holes. No, we're done with buffers for now, don't worry. The first word one learns when driving into Wales. I've driven into Wales, I've never learned any words, Stephen. Good evening, how are you today, sir?
I'd be careful, now Greenpeace after you keep doing that.
So now we're going to take the body off of the chassis off of the loco so we can solder the buffer beam in place.
But everyone on this stream prefers if I went back to the hotel stop distracting him.
No, I'm pretty sure they're enjoying it.
I can still distract him from there though, you know.
Stop doing that, Telly. You... For those that don't know, my internet is terrible tonight.
I think you should make linear mod on your Discord as well, by the way.
Yeah? I think you have the power to do that. I keep meaning to do it.
Okay. Let's,
Linny doing a better job than my existing mods. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Mr. Mod.
No, it's just,
Slow. Aha! That makes sense as to why that would be the first word you learn on driving in.
Well, pre-warning you that everyone's slow here.
No, they're not driving into Hicktown. Underneath.
No, let's not do that.
Set context is all in language learning. Indeed it is. That went well. Let's do that again, but better.
No, I don't seem to have the power.
I have the power. What show was that? Was that He-Man?
I have the power! Yes.
Yeah, I knew something. Look at me getting really current pop culture references.
Yep. Anyone says that things are getting too cynical and trying to just sell toys these days, I mean...
I did that years ago.
Yeah, literally that's all He-Man existed for.
Yeah.
We've got these toys, they're not selling too well. Why not make a cartoon for it? And now no one knows about the toys. Pretty successful cartoon.
Yep. Well, stop watching the telly then if it's trippy and just watch what I'm doing.
We can't even enjoy the trip though.
Not round here, you're not. This is a family-friendly place. Everything that goes on here is family-friendly.
You can take a trip somewhere. To ride.
And there we have a buffer beam that looks perfect and not in the slightest bit with a massive gap at the front. Which is good, aren't we glad there isn't a massive gap at the front?
There's a massive gap at the front, isn't there?
No, there isn't.
What's that daylight hole then?
No, there's no daylight, it's just...
But isn't the gap for the coupling to go through?
Yeah, if only it was that hole. About the same width. So yes, there we go. There's the loco body as done as we need it for now. So we are going to move on to the tender. I mean, I'm really hoping that didn't come as a shock to anyone. So, my name is Gary, and I'm really hoping we're not in the middle of crashing right now. What's with the massive gap at the front? I think the massive gap at the front is just because the frames are the wrong length, to be honest.
Bit of filler.
So, yeah, a bit of filler when it comes to that stage. It'll be fine. You know, I filled gaps like that with solder on the K-Class.
Is that the one that's still in bits over here?
Yeah, that's the one. Right, so these go one way round. Oh, I know what way round they go because they've got guidey things. We like guidey things.
Will you? Stop all this jargon.
So they go on there, and there's guidey things that go in these holes, and they... I actually tried to pull that apart and it wouldn't come apart. I'm impressed. Well done. Well done, Wheels. No, not you, Wheels. Wills. Like Kate's husband. There's a British reference for you. I'm going to put all these parts over with...
Tea and crumpets.
Can't really hear Christopher at all. So you're going to have to come over this way, Christopher. No one can hear you.
I'm comfortable. But look, folks, I'm technically on holiday.
Since when did comfort have anything to do with it?
Ugh.
I mean, if you came here and did your job as a techie and fixed my microphone...
Yeah, I like that. Roll, get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive 291 miles down here, and the first thing that's asked of you when you get through the door. There's my stuff, fix my mic.
And he didn't do it.
Oh, there go, didn't I?
But they can't hear what you're saying.
Is that Chris Francis? Yeah, you.
How big would you reckon diameter of the front wagon buffers are? Part that goes into the buffer beam. It's around 1 mil. On these ones, it's significantly bigger than that. Yeah, that's 3 mil on these buffers. The bit that goes into the buffer beam. Is that Christopher on the sofa? If I could sit there, he can. Yeah, but we're on crummy microphone. So, you know. If we were using this one, we'd be able to hear him. But as you can tell from the fact that there's no cable coming out of it, we're not using this microphone, so we can't hear him.
That'll be what's wrong with it, there's no cable in it.
Yeah, we tried that. Shockingly. Stupid boy. It's been downgraded to pike now.
I told you I was pike at the brewery, so it's not like that. Insulted.
Everyone else is saying 2 mil, so 2 mil it must be. Pulling the camera. So for some reason the camera has sunk since the start of the stream.
Oh, it must be the me effect.
Really, really hoping we're not crashing right now. My preview display is quite far behind me and just says loading and is frozen. That's awesome. I'm glad that's what's happening.
Sorry.
Good, good, good. I'm glad it's just that. Probably your fault, isn't it?
No, my effect is the camera slowly falling over.
Streaming also want people to have options. Yes, indeed, Javier. I would say if there's smaller holes, then that's what you want to go with. Is the smaller of the sizes. I quite agree. Sorry, everyone. He's turned into a little yappy, whiny dog again. So, how is everyone doing this evening? Do we have any projects of our own on the go? Obviously, James is building a table. I am building a tender. Chris is making terrible jokes that you apparently can't hear.
Probably the best. Well, I was working on something, but I had to clear out so someone could do a stream. To be fair, there's not much else I can do. I can always do it sitting here, to be perfectly frank, couldn't I? Rest on me.
I thought you were being Christopher. Oh no, Pike's name. Frank. Ah. No! Why would I want to do that? Besides the headache, I'm making headway on this one here. I admire you having a migraine and still doing anything that isn't sitting in laying in a very, very dark room in complete and utter silence.
Ooh.
That's certainly what I'd be doing.
I just suffered too quickly.
That was silly of you.
Ah! My eye's exploding.
Don't do that, Christopher.
Some people have a sense of attention, don't they? Lying on the floor.
For anyone that didn't hear that, he was laying on the floor next to me and literally said, "Oh, that's not good. My eye's exploding."
Right now.
But you know, I've got you guys to entertain, so I'm not stopping what I'm doing to help him.
No, I can't. Because me.
Too many wagons, say nothing of the top secret match wagon project. Excellent. Very nice, Stephen. Don't have any projects this second, but earlier I was playing with locos for the colliery, which would be called Amesbury Colliery. I thought it was going to be called Colliery McCollery Face. Can afford that when I'm dead. Fortunately. Fair enough, Javier. I was working on a train single jobby. Now I'm watching a silly person. I've got to keep it family friendly. Play with metal. Fair enough. I hope this silly person is at least keeping you entertained this evening.
My foot's gone as well.
Christopher tells me his foot has also gone dead. I'm really not sure how he expects me to help with that, but it's not happening. So, problem with this is I may have damaged the castings a bit when I was reaming out the holes. That was my fault, not the castings' fault, so I just need to chop some bits off. So, you know, F in chat for the castings having their bits chopped off. He's up and looking at my bookcase. His eyes can't have exploded that badly. In fact, he's looking at anything means his eyes can't have exploded that badly.
I can see what I'm looking at.
Still means you have eyes.
Oh! Oh no, no.
I did dry run all this so I knew what I was doing. Just for anyone seeing me completely not know what I'm doing and wondering whether I know what I'm doing. No, I don't.
When?
Like 2.5 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I was going to say not two cast dispersions on that claim, but I didn't see you do it.
No, it wasn't this weekend.
Okay, that's all right.
It was after the last stream we worked on it. Yeah, I got some F's in chat. Maybe able to get to Hayden Island finally. Chassis ready for printing. Huzzah! Excellent.
Oh, come on.
That is great news.
Sit before I get into it.
I have a horrible feeling I put these on the wrong way round though.
Oh, that was silly.
It was very silly. If you came here for a professional, then what are you doing here really, let's be honest.
It's great seeing the master at work.
I keep asking where this master is, he won't tell me, sorry. Delete Swords Garrett took both vacuum pipes and the Westonhouse pump off my Terrier. Well, yeah, I mean, if it's a colliery engine, it's not going to be hauling coaches. It doesn't need them, does it?
I was going to put this in chat, hoping it's really edgy and might upset the person doing the stream. It won't.
Are you sure it won't?
Because it makes logical sense. No, it just makes the person in the background grumble. Quiet in the cheap seats. I really rather please it in zero than just like contact.
Right, before I take that one off, I can line this one up over those bits and go, yes, I definitely put these on the wrong way round. That was very silly of me.
Fool! Okay, we do a silly thing about that.
No, never.
So catch me, not so I don't do it.
Yeah, that's why I took them off too. Good. I'm glad that's why you took them off, because it, you know, it's kind of the obvious thing, really.
What you could have done was just cut the pipes off. I've seen colliery locos that used to be mainline ones where they're not basically not going to pay someone to take a whole bit of equipment off. They just pull the bits off you really don't need.
There we go. Do you want an honest answer, Christopher?
I know what I know, so I know what you say.
Do you, though?
Yes.
Shocking fact. Christopher knows what he knows.
There's plenty who don't, such as the people after asking pictures of flying cows. real or not?
Yes, for those of my British viewers, how is everyone holding up to the storms?
Or holding down on the ground.
Well, hopefully you're on the ground. Unlike that cow in that picture earlier.
I've got to say, it was a bad day to go parachuting.
Great day to go paragliding, though.
Mm.
And according to that person in Hastings, a fantastic day to go surfing.
Yeah. Yeah, my thoughts and them definitely aren't for you.
No.
So, back to your paragliding one. Yes, a fantastic day. Last seen disappearing over the Alps.
Hey, we've not had it too bad with the storm here, thankfully.
You speak for yourself.
But you say what you want about your trip to Tesco. We're still only getting 35-ish mile an hour winds.
Wasn't a trip to Tesco's. Leaving the hotel and going in.
It's even less then. No, I'm not on the ground, I'm on a chair. Luke has a flying chair.
He does. It's a shame he tries to be clever, but isn't.
Yeah. You could have just said when he tries to be clever.
Yeah. Well, I have to clarify, I wasn't actually being clever. Because, you're going to be clear with them. Can the people hear me better from here?
For those that didn't hear, Christopher asked, can you hear him?
Oh, I'm just hearing you over there now.
That was silly.
Oh, see, I told you wouldn't catch me doing it. I own up to it. This is where they all say, yes, please move further away again.
If anyone says that, well, at least know they can hear you.
That's true.
There we go. I think I've got that. Yeah, that's sort of better.
Well, Luke might.
It's the right way round now.
Luke might think he has a flying chair, but we know he does believe in mad things like the LNER was good. He says, unironically wearing a Mallard t-shirt.
I wasn't going to point out your Mallard t-shirt.
Well, I've got to be honest about things.
I was just going to fling the camera around to show you.
I can hear you speaking, but I can't hear you saying. Stephen Lee's hearing quite enough. Oh, sorry.
Becca's, alas, I can hear him. Popular around here, you aren't you?
You know, it's people like me that cause the rest.
It is. It really, really is.
Or swap it for your H tag, Luke.
There you go, Luke. You can get yourself a Mallard t-shirt.
I'll make sure I wash it first, maybe. From the Ganges. By the way, you just pay me from the holiday to India.
Oh, you'll be going in 8 months then.
Yes.
It fits! Yay! I've made it fit. This is my hand doing a dance because I made it fit.
Oh, but by the way, Luke, no, Chris doesn't have one. Christopher has one.
You know what? I've always wondered if people will pick up on that.
It's not like I call myself Christopher literally everywhere.
I also call you Christopher everywhere.
Which is like hardly appreciated.
Well, you once said that it's Christopher, not Chris.
Thank you. Well, I call you G. That's what Dad, wouldn't it?
Been called some interesting things in my life. Never G.
Oh, you didn't hear it. I'll swap it for your H tank. In a minute, I'll have to go stand on the roof and do it in flag signals.
Bad Christopher.
What's wrong with flag signals?
You insulting Luke. You'd never catch me doing that.
If you've watched this far in this video,
then you will know that this is a PG stream and I would be nice to Luke at all times. You know, I've just realised we are nearly an hour in. Hydration's important, everyone.
well, it's especially silly since I've just had a drink.
Maybe that's why I don't feel so thirsty. You're doing the hydrating for me. Stranger things have happened, apparently.
It's been a bit quiet about this t-shirt.
That goes there. So we'll get that in.
It's not that one.
I should probably file that. That's
But Becca, there's no evidence.
yeah. I didn't say I don't do it. I said you won't catch me.
Remember, it's only naughty to get caught. And he said to his nephew, and then was probably told off by a nephew's mother.
Does he have a record, Wilson? No, sir. I don't think he's ever been caught.
That's it.
Lots of flux. Remember, everyone, you can't have too much flux. Someone said that once.
Except when you're trying to use solder paste as flux. Then you don't tend to get very far.
Remember, everyone, solder is not flux. There's a chance that someone listening to me needs that information. Good evening, Killian. How are you today?
I do.
He does.
That's awesome. I've got a little plastic box.
Special name for them.
What's that?
Sorry, Crystal, it's PG stream.
You brought it up.
Yeah. Special name for plastic boxes. It's
Containers?
yeah, that's the one. Containers.
I'm on the same page. I'm not completely lost. Not genuinely, I'm not even pretending. I can't look for a minute. They're wounded enough. Realm. Why died innocent?
Look, I cut this arm down so that the soldering iron wouldn't get caught on it. Not so that the soldering iron could get caught on it.
Oh, I just got sticky fingerprints on the D.
Quite good fans, got Piccadilly running faultlessly. Excellent, Killian. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it indeed, sir.
Why is this D still so sticky? That wasn't intended to be a...
I assume it's to do with the paint. I've had that issue with some paints before, and it usually goes away with a bit of varnish. I don't think people advise to varnish when they're doing that, though. But I've done it before. Not that you're all hearing me say this, everyone. I would never do things that are really, really stupid ideas with railway modelling. Never.
Oh, I've also got the chassis out.
There we go. Thought that was stuck for a second there. Hopefully that does get sorted for you tomorrow, Killian. And you can get back to work again. I got this together really well a second ago. There was a bit of flash I needed to remove, so I took it apart, and now I can't get it back together. I'm sure this is someone else's fault.
Probably mine.
Yeah, probably. There we go. It's together, ladies and gentlemen.
Do that for. Why do so many companies insist on building locomotives with whistles on the roof?
Because they weren't thinking about us poor people that were going to try and make tiny little scale models of them at some point in the future, and I think that was very inconsiderate of them not to consider us, personally. For those that didn't hear, Christopher asked why so many companies put whistles on the roofs. Which is a good point, because it looks to me like one has snapped off the roof of the D-Class. But that's okay. It will have been a white metal one. I shall replace it with a etch.
Oh, by the way, mine's the whistle on that W4. It's a piece of wire.
Fair enough.
If you want to buy a copy, I'll replace it. Oh, take your shot. I do try and round it off.
Stupid boy.
Good night.
Yes.
What do you know?
I don't know.
I'll just put the idea away anyway. Alright, I'll start calling it a G2 shell. What better?
Yes.
Which is a Super D.
This soldiering's going really well tonight. It's really cooperating with me. I'm really glad. Aren't you all glad this is cooperating so well? We have the basics of a tender. Yay! Success! We are 5 minutes short of the hour. And we can see what appears to be a locomotive. Missing some bits, obviously. Wheels, the rest of the tender.
Oh,
minor details.
Remember not to do what I did yesterday and solder it all together before putting the wheels in.
Oh, I've already done that. But this has separate axle boxes.
Snob. It's a bit more of a kit than the.
can still do that.
As I said,
But you see, I never even considered it because I'm sitting here working without instructions. Indeed, looking like a locomotive. Excellent.
I don't have any instructions for mine.
Yours was meant to have no instructions. Hopefully.
Well, doesn't matter, it's in one piece, isn't it?
It is. You did a very good job of it. For those that don't know, as is tradition here at Oak Hill Works, Christopher came to visit, so I taught him how to solder white metal. If anyone would like to see Christopher's handiwork with soldering white metal, please do let me know, and he can fetch the model to show off.
Night, Stephen.
Good night, Stephen. Thank you for coming. It has been fantastic to see you here. And I hope to see you again next week.
Can we have a call on James?
Not only was the scratch and half of the kit is also missing that will not be buying for my hero if you hadn't recommend all lovers do likewise. Well, that is not good.
No. Also, it's probably a little bit harsh on IKEA though. I mean, as far as I know, not being in my room at the minute, my bookcase and chest of drawers is still in one piece.
I shall be off to IKEA next weekend, probably.
Please do fetch Christmas bottles, says James. Okay. You're making me move. It's not nice to me.
So, Christopher came round. Christopher had to learn to solder white metal. And with doing so, he brought with him a GEM LNWR 20-ton brake van kit. Which, I mean, to me, that looks like it is original from when it was.
Old, isn't it?
Yeah.
The cardboard feels old.
And so, we have a white metal brake van, which he has soldered very nicely indeed.
Thank you. Good teacher, that's all I can say.
It's just not as hard as everyone thinks. And so yes, he did a fantastic job of that, and I'm sure we'll see many more white metal kits out of him in the future. So I need to go. Have a good stream, Gary. Okay, see you later, Becca. Thank you for popping by. It has been great to see you here, and I hope to see you next week. Looks like an old kit. It's quite quaint packaging. Gosh, that's not a bad kit. The all people come to learn to build six-wheel brake vans. We were making that joke at the time, Linny. Yes, those are very, very thick sides. They're not as thick as they appear, because of course what you're seeing is the overhang on the beading as well. So the sides are reasonably thin, but they've got a massive, thick overhang. But yes, it does appear to be six-wheel brake vans, Linny. Well, we did make that joke at the time as well.
We did.
So for those that want to learn these skills, apparently what you have to do is come here and bring a six-wheel brake van kit with you. Or come here when there's a show on and you can buy a six-wheel brake van kit.
Don't try a five-wheel one.
No, five-wheel brake vans don't go quite so well.
No.
Bit lumpy runners.
Mr. Pets, definitely don't buy your six-wheel one from IKEA. Then it'll be three wheels and keep falling over.
Yeah, indeed. Don't get six-wheel brake vans from IKEA. But yes, I am quite sure I'm getting dragged to IKEA next weekend. By she who is female.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, yeah, oh, of course. I'm sure it'll be worthwhile in the end.
Blooming hope so. Seriously, these noises he makes. Oh dear, he's dragging you to that dark and lonely place. A female human that I will be seeing because of I won't have the children, and next Friday is the 14th of February. So I'm sure I shall get dragged there on Saturday. Christopher, you are naughty. That is all. So you seem to have acquired a donkey. He does sound a bit like a donkey, doesn't he? Yes.
Well, allow me to lead you somewhere.
So remember, everyone, for those that did see last night's stream, me and Christopher can behave, see?
They gave us credit.
No, I'm terrible at Scrabble. I can't spell. Can you not persuade the female human to drag you somewhere a little more civilised? If only, James. If only.
Some people are funny jokers.
She's been on at me for about 2 months to take her to IKEA. She reckons it's better than getting them to deliver.
So literally.
Should point out, from here, IKEA is a 200-mile round trip.
Well, it will be for us soon. Something like that. Do you want to burn it? I don't know. You and Christopher have gone more than 5 minutes without making a joke about me. That's because this one's PG.
Yeah, this is PG, Luke. Do not be bringing that up. PG, Luke. PG. We've broke him again. Well, we've definitely broke him. At least you can check the stuff isn't cracked, I suppose. Yes, that is true. That is very true. $200-mile round trip, and it's through. I've got to go through the Dartford crossing, so there's blooming toll to pay on that.
Wow. Right, that's less of that, James.
I think Christopher just exploded. I concur, Luke. I concur.
What we got to remember
my big
is
words.
me and Gary ain't fit of you, Luke. Are you, Gary?
So this is the really easy way to solder white metal, by going in through the bottom.
Too thin, I can barely do anything with it. Too short.
There we go, that corner is soldered, so the top of the tender is on.
scissors.
So I'm just dropping a little bit of solder in and following it in with the iron. And unlike butter, when hit by the iron, solder does melt and holds the top of the tender in place. And of course, the thing about the South Eastern and Chatham, that went somewhere. Don't ask me where though, it'll fall out eventually. Just discovered someone at my club building Great Northern said, how long until we can steal it and repaint it Wainwright green? Ah, go on. You know you want to, Linny. Right, I can see that bit of solder. But yes, so the Chatham and its tender engines, absolutely appalling coal space on them, because they were more water carts than tenders. So they really were this shape, and the coal just got chucked on the top. I need a tiny bit of solder. I had a tiny bit of solder a second ago. Where did it go? It was tiny. I've lost it because it was so tiny. I'll just have to cut enough of it off. It's okay, this wasn't a Chatham design. There we go. Now I'll just seal that and hold that bit down. So yeah, that is the coal space they had. It was just a massive water tank.
Well done, Mr. Pitts.
The SE&CR not have troughs. It did not. None of the southern companies did. Something that carried on right through to the end of steam. There were never water troughs on the southern.
Does it head backwards?
Forwards.
Ow!
What was that for?
Just stab myself with the pin voice.
That was stupid.
Turns out it does work, yes, it hurts.
So, public service announcement from Christopher. It hurts when you drill yourself in the hand.
Perhaps from me staring into space while you're doing.
You thought I'd lost that. It's over there. There's a bit, yeah, yes, James. Yes.
I like James now, he's not picky at me.
But yes, they really didn't carry much in the way of coal.
I like how to see the real one of those, you not only have to go to the apparently imaginary place that's called the Midlands, you have to go beyond that and see the real ship. That's a long way from there. What's up?
I've just noticed something on this kit that's wrong.
Oh, quote someone, a kit but wrong. Who thought? What's up?
So, yeah, Chatham tenders were water carts, and the coal got chucked on top of this big square tank. So why is there a coal space door there?
You still got my picture so the real one? I'm pretty sure I took a
Somewhere.
picture.
So looking at P classes earlier, might get one for the colliery. You should definitely get one, Luke.
Don't drink flux.
Hydration is important, don't drink flux.
Don't smack your teeth out with it.
Don't do that when I've got a mouthful of hydration.
Oh. Noodles.
You can't have too much flux unless you're trying to hydrate.
Or you use the soda paste.
You still just need more flux. More flux. That was the solution there. We took away the solder paste, we added more flux.
What worries me is, you know that connection on my layout that's sitting behind you on its side that hasn't done anything on the weekend?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I used on there, along with solder.
If it works, it works. So, next step, we're going to add some small bits to the tender. All the small bits on the tender.
So it's not so.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with something to go after that, and I couldn't.
Mind you, at the end of the stream, you turn the lights off and carry me home. You got a long walk.
And on 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 and on. See? They even thought of that. Well, hey, we probably should stop singing Blink 182 now, though. YouTube copyright.
Flux kittens.
There are no flux kittens either. Luke, do you want me putting kittens on here
Shouldn't ask that question.
and then going like that with them?
I shouldn't ask that question. Silly.
Many things are silly. I'm still asking them.
Must
Look, there's the flux.
line base chat. Looking proper pets.
There we go. There's a brake handle and a message from the chatbot to go to. Is it Patreon? Is that yeah, it is the Patreon one. It's been so long that I've forgotten what message is what.
Silly.
It is rather, isn't it? This is what happens when you get ill and miss a week. No, don't do that.
It's what it's buried in coal instead.
Coal kittens. So you want me to load this with coal and then shovel them into fire? Is that what you're saying, Luke?
Yes.
You're just mean, Christopher.
I don't like kittens.
Doesn't mean you get to be mean to them.
I don't like cats. I don't like kittens. I don't like. In fact, it's actually what I keep telling people. It's not that we necessarily don't like you. We just have an agreement that we'll leave each other alone.
That bit goes in there. Like that, you see.
Like the Minbari. If you've not bothered them, they're not bothered you.
I think. Honestly, this is really hard now that I've lost the instructions. This kit's become a lot harder. So, Christopher, see this bit here? That is the same size as the bit I've put in the tender and doesn't have a coal space door on it.
You can put it over the top of the other one.
Do you think this might be the bit that goes there?
Probably. Perhaps they realise the mistake.
So this clearly goes here and is the front of this bit. My name's Gary and I'm a professional.
Well, that's good at work.
Still don't know where this master is.
Looking at him.
No, I can't see him, sorry. That's really bugging me now. Can find the buttons, turn it off. They're there. I saw the bit I want. Where's it? There it is. There's the bit I want. It goes on here. New table. It's exactly the same height as my desk, which has some benefits. That's excellent. Those are the best. My name is Gary. I can English.
I used to put a couple of cooking on with it.
Don't worry, Christopher. I've done that as well. Of course, tonight I am proving I'm not a professional, so. And I'm not even doing it on purpose.
No.
I've got to decide how I'm going to tackle that front bit. So in the meantime, what I was actually going to say was, in the meantime, we'll stick the water filler cap on, because that goes right through. So we can just put some flux on through there, drop some solder in, and stick the iron to solder it together. I should really think more about what I'm saying before I say it, shouldn't I? So that I don't kind of come to these end of sentences like, yeah.
Wind's blowing all the kind of more all the time.
The wind is really blowing, actually.
Is that deluge just stopped? PG this road.
This is a public service announcement for all people. 200 degrees is still really hot. It's times like this where one would usually hydrate, but my hydration vessel is empty.
I meant to it. I want. I don't fuck your hand in this. No, that's just rude.
So yes, now I need to decide how I'm dealing with that.
Danny, did you get as much abuse from him as me?
No, much more abuse from you. Unless that's a bit that goes... Why do I not have the instructions?
Because reasons. But folks, just while someone's wondering why I called them the master and they're still looking at master, in the time it's taken to build that tender, I still haven't got one coupling hook in my tank wagon.
But I started first.
Yeah, but you still cheap a hell of a lot more than me.
But I started first.
Take the compliment, man.
But I started first.
Take it.
So that goes through there like that. That just doesn't give me the room. This is confusing. Broke him again. So I'm going to cut this down, get rid of the flash on it. Saviour of the universe.
Wainwright's alive!
No, he's not. He died quite a while ago.
I don't know why I'm pulling a face when no one can see me. I don't wish them to see me either.
Oh, and he was me about to offer to correct it.
Unless you're old man steptoe looking at it. Ow.
Now appear to acquire an orangutan.
I resent that.
No, the word you're looking for is resemble.
Well, I don't have to drive 291 miles to be a dealer, so I can have this at home. I'm used to it. I can chat instead.
Yeah, but you have to drive 291 miles to get there.
Yeah. I do. Wow, that's a big journey. I wonder if we can do it in one go again.
What?
Thinks.
So this, as we've already discussed, goes in here.
Sorry.
We're keeping you up, sir.
Sorry, we orangutans have to get some sleep.
Right. This is a really well designed kit, and that doesn't fit with that poking through the bottom there, so we're going to cut that off.
Move away.
And that goes in there. That's definitely how it is right now. That is exactly how it goes, as you can tell. There we go. See, it goes just like that. Told you. Then we hit the camera. That's an important part of the kit. I'm pretty sure that's in the instructions. I would show you, but I don't have them, as we have already discussed. Then this bit comes over here with its screws. I'm missing a bit. Oh, it's still on the bottom of the... Oh, that's what else I need to do. I need to solder this to this. Because we forgot this bit last week, and it kind of broke the loco a bit when I didn't put it in. And for those wondering, breaking the loco is bad.
Flying pet. Look, I'm delicate like you know.
Got words out of him.
Flying pets. If you'd chosen any other rape as an orangutan, you would not be having an impressive librarian. That's actually really hurt.
I'm sure it does, the poor librarian. Why don't you apologise?
No, I mean being hit on the knee with a hammer hurts.
Well, don't do it then. I mean, that's my advice for life. Do not get hit on the knee with a hammer. So yeah, if that ever comes up in life, guys, and you're wondering, should I get hit on the knee with a hammer? Apparently the answer is no. Do not get hit on the knee with a hammer. I'm glad everyone is now aware of this. No, where I'll put the other bit. There it is.
But you didn't hit the knee with a hammer.
No, you're special. He doesn't look impressed, folks. Not getting hit on the knee with a hammer is good advice generally, I think. I agree. I would definitely agree. This needs to go round this.
No, James, this is directly on the kneecap. No, it's grinding.
No, don't do that. Definitely don't do that. I can give you advice on that. Definitely. They do not want to make this easy for me, do they? I'm going to make this easy for me. I just have to remember where something... There it is. What about those reflex testing hammers? Well, yeah, I mean, it's about the right size for one of them. I mean, I know they're made of, like, rubber, and this one might not be made of rubber. Might. He's not looking any more impressed.
Can't think why.
No, neither can I. So, we're going to get rid of this split pin.
Mr. PG is just very lucky that
That really got rid of the split pin.
Mr. PG is just very lucky that I was able to stop myself using the exclusive I wanted to. I'm starting to wonder why.
But because you're well disciplined, sir.
Don't try and crawl back into your good now.
Cool. Me? No. So we're going to replace that split pin with a bit of wire. The nut goes on here first. This is on the wrong screw.
I don't think I'm good for your account. You have 12 viewers, you're down to 6.
My viewers fluctuate all the time. I try not to take too much attention to it. It's times like this I wonder what's going on here. Because this really wouldn't be possible with the split pin. Because that nut needs to be on there first, and then this needs to go round that. Which I should be able to do, doing it this way, because I'm using a bit of wire and I've got the length to poke it through. Like that, we see. And then there's the other screw.
Getting quicker that time.
Excellent, well done, Luke.
So you joke, and sometimes it hurts. Ladies call me Luke.
Yeah, there was. And you know there was.
Hang on, just keep calling me Luke till I've been to his and pinch his hate bank and come back.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, these that are now sticking out the back will be the tender hook coupling thing, and they are supposed to go through this bit here, which currently doesn't have a hole, get bent round and be soldered up on the back. I've broke him again.
Yes, you hit me on the knee with a hammer.
No, I don't think that's how I broke you.
I'm cross walking.
Seriously though, kids, remember, instructions are important. Do not lose them. Why am I using that? I've got a drill set here, which we use like that, not like that.
Oh, you Christmas thing.
Hang on, that's not even attached yet, is it? I don't need it on the end of the tender. We're officially halfway through the stream, folks. And now I am refilling the hydration because hydration is important. And that is the noise of Christopher being successful. Everyone, 3 cheers for successful Christopher. Hip hip.
Your lover's popped out.
I believe the next word's for Ray, actually.
Me knee hurts, my lover's popped out. My chassis won't stay clipped anymore. It's being pushed up by
It's found a new toy.
Oh, it'll run. Yeah, it'll run. It's fine.
And now we have a seal.
Luke.
I'm not sure what that was.
No.
Apparently he's not either. So where did I put that? Did I put that? Where's the round file? There it is.
No.
It is, I promise. Just clean up the I'm only cleaning up the edges of where I've just drilled.
No. I thought it was the other way up.
He's got a book on his lap, you see. And he's putting his wagon on the book and his legs aren't quite straight. So it keeps rolling off. That's what he's knowing about.
Yeah, I put it on top of my plastic stuff. Hang on, did you just show it on my lap?
Literally pointing at you the whole time.
There were violators.
Christopher's latest laugh sounds like a Mark III carriage arriving at the station. Luke agrees.
Yeah. So Luke, do we have a deal? Luke, do we have a deal? My t-shirt for your H tank. Thanks, bye.
He'll be there in 20 minutes. So that goes there. Like that. I should probably bring that back into the camera. So you see that goes through. These get cut down, bent back and all that jazz. And form our tender coupling with a slight bit of spring in it.
Oh, go through so I can't fucking hit the knee, either.
For those wondering, that was my D-Class suffering from what his wagon was suffering from a second ago.
What, being hit in the knee with a hammer?
Did your wagon get hit in the knee with a hammer?
What is all everything I owned and loved died with my knee?
Still alive.
Oh, that's tender.
No, yeah, you get it. Tender, yes. Well done. This tender, this loco, that wagon. All that jazz. Bit Great Eastern, isn't it?
Well, we know Gary's a secret Great Western Great SE&CR lover.
I picked it up in the RAF, actually.
Put it down again quick.
You know that lost bit of solder from earlier? It just fell out. Told you it'd fall out eventually. No one believed me. Really? Well, that was an interesting noise.
Well, you see, all these noises come about because I can't just straight out belly laugh because then someone knows that there's something else going on.
PG stream, Christopher. PG stream.
Lovely. That's why I have to strain myself.
So, Christopher, remember, hydration, very important.
Oh, drown. Not content with destroying my mobility, you also want to drown me now. Ow! I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's people like you that cause them rest.
Cause, start. These are just words.
You're quite right. Well done.
So how is everyone doing?
In pain.
Everything falls apart. Now, the PG tips stream. that was that wasn't orangutans. This was impressions like Gary Brannan can.
I'm not answering any of your questions, Luke. You answer mine. Do we have a deal?
You know what the answer there is.
Don't move it.
That's the one.
Might be a bit awkward if I'm trying to press the accelerator.
Won't get any crashes.
That's loser talk.
Been mopping in my shed.
Is that like a form of dancing? Let's go to the mop pit.
Hydration is important.
I got well cleaned in the mop pit. That would have been impressive if you sprayed the entire wall.
No, it wouldn't. That's untreated cork.
Could be fluorosity. I didn't survive 2020's mop pits too. I've been bubble wrapping like I'm supposed to one slowly. So is that in the post will be slowly, or you go?
Yes.
Your post grouping ones. What do they do to you?
Be post grouping mainly. So that wants to be there because that is the actual front of the tank, not the one I put there because I was really clever. That's the right word, isn't it? Clever.
No, you're from the south.
That's what I said. Clever.
Be careful what words and stuff. Mind you, not that they ever contact me anyway. I'll set them on money.
That was a joke, by the way. I do not think where you are brought up really makes a difference to your abilities.
No. It does help it's not benefit. Which is in the Midlands. Can we exist?
No, you don't. I've seen the road signs.
Just say the Midlands on it.
No, I've never seen that. I've seen ones that say north. I've seen ones that say south. Well, that did nothing for me.
Oh, right. So that's why that popped out there. I can see you, Granny. I've got some chains on. Yeah.
So now, hopefully, that will help a little bit more flow down into the gap. Because that's where all the cool teens buy their clothes. No, it's not. Never has been, and it never will be. You know they can hear you, Christopher.
Yeah, I just don't care.
Fair enough.
You black and white son of a gun. That's older than most children. Oh no.
Only older than most children.
Well, there might be some children who are older than older than it, or about the same age, but older than most of them. I'm not quite sure how old Tankman is. Yeah, they can hear me. If they don't know how loudly they'll need you to go and spoil it for everyone or anything like that.
Hydration, ladies and gentlemen. Hydration.
You can do it.
So the next thing we want to get on here is the wheels and the axle boxes. And should we put the buffers on first? We had fun with the buffers earlier, didn't we?
We did. We've had some practice.
Yeah. Oh, apparently I have an Instagram. Thank you, Gary Bot, for pointing that out.
You posted it with Lucas says.
I did not post to it. It's almost like even I had forgotten I have an Instagram. Can hear noises, but that's about it. Nothing distinguishable.
That's right.
So yes, we get to unscrew the buffers, which we obviously spent ages making last time. I keep going to say last week, and I'm like, no, I wasn't here last week.
No.
I mean, technically I was here, but
Not
the stream wasn't.
Yeah.
Just run out of bubble wrap. Let's get some more. How do I have any bubble? This is one of those times where it'd be great if I just had some bubble wrap next to me. Go, there you go. But I don't. I did have until the other day when I cleaned up. There was loads in the stream bin.
Well, Linny, you did say you were doing it slowly.
This is true. Still got 9 more wagons to wrap. No, I didn't have that much. No, what I want to do here is I'm going to get the file. Doesn't really matter which one, as long as it's got a pointy end, and I can put that in there and hold this down as I apply flux. Oh, I need to turn the iron up again, don't I?
Now it stops. Now I want it to move, it stops.
Well, of course, Christopher. Things can't move when you want them to move. And there is the iron heated up. That's nice and quick of it, wasn't it? Try and keep the cable off the screen.
Pop. I need a new tip. No, that's fine. No, I'm not forgetting about those. I just didn't put them.
This is a public service announcement for all humans. 400 degrees is roughly twice as hot as 200 degrees.
I like how you have to be roughly. Just so we go. Actually, I'll pick your palm. Oh!
I don't know what he did, everyone, but he appears to be in pain.
We're listening to the nutcracker.
Bet your knee feels better now. Bet it does. Just gonna have to mute you for a second, everyone. And we are back.
I hope the mute works.
Yeah, I really hope that.
Really a PG bit of it.
I'll tell you what, I got halfway through that and I thought, why did I mute? I could have just switched over to the Be Right Back or technical difficulties that don't even have a microphone.
Very technical difficulties. I'm going to do some music. Do some music. Every time you turn around now, I tend to look, I'm afraid you're going to hit me with a hammer. I'm not saying I'm conditioned. What's over there?
Can anyone recommend a good A3 printer for railway modelling? Unfortunately...
Yeah, Hornby make one. Even comes ready assembled.
Unfortunately, I cannot. It's been a while since I've had to print anything in A3.
We can't know get on Hassan's deal.
Christopher, on the other hand,
He's a total idiot.
he's unlike me, still actively a techie.
I resent malicious rumours being spread around.
So, technical advice is probably he's better to go to than me.
So now you know how up the creek on how you are.
last time I bought an A3 printer's got to be about 12 years ago.
Depends just how much reuse you're going to get out of it. If it's going to be once in a while, I'd go for an Epson.
It was indeed a joke that he said, James. He said Hornby make an A3. He's now suggesting an Epson.
If you are more industrial minded, then Kyocera's pretty good as well.
Or Kyocera, depending on amount of use it's going to get. Kyocera if it's lots of use. My floor is lovely and clean now, and I have an apron in the shed, which is always a good start. Excellent.
Is it pink?
Christopher says, is it pink? That's the apron, I would assume.
No, I just want to leave it open-ended. Is it pink? Makes people more nervous that way. I still love how small that second coach is in that Brighton. Victoria Station with the London Western.
It's very helpful. I think that the amount of use will be fairly occasional since I have an A4 LED laser printer in my study for bulk work, but not as high res nor A3.
I'd go for an Epson then.
Yeah, Christopher says Epson then.
Just for the love of the all that's sacred, do not use a continuous ink system. Yes, it's cheap.
Oh God, no.
They are rubbish.
Yes, they are.
And as they found out at my work in the art department, you come in one day and it's sitting in a pool with its own ink.
Yep.
Because someone's forgotten to close the valve again. I have to clean it up.
Fun.
Both verbally just now and physically then. It relieved itself. Another way of saying relieved itself.
Yes, I knew what you meant.
Oh, sorry, just explaining for Luke.
Oh, I've used SIS systems before. I know exactly what you meant. Yeah.
So what?
That's one word for it.
You see, I'm happy to use this piano G. That's my excuse because it's got a 3D.
My old piano had quite a few G's on it.
What?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No,
Oh, not much of a piano.
musical scale. It's an electric piano. Hallelujah.
No, it's fine with it.
So that's very helpful, thank you. I should get an normal cartridge printer in that case, thank you for that. Is Epson better than Canon?
It's down to personal taste. I have more experience with Epsons. We had a Canon printer and it gave us nothing but trouble, but that could just be that one printer. But our Epsons on the whole have generally been very good. Their support's actually pretty decent as well, if you have a problem. Hashtag not sponsored.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to How Not to Solder White Metal with Gary.
Start by hitting Christopher in the knee with a hammer. Oh, trust me, he won't let it drop for the next year. Because I guess he's waiting for the hammer to fall.
Way! Queen references! They're the best references.
I not like Queen. But it's going to get run over if he sits there.
You know what though? That song was better when they did it with Paul Rogers than when they did it with Freddie Mercury.
Where is he? I don't actually like Queen.
Heresy.
Yeah. I did once, a little bit, sort of grew out of it.
That is very odd soldering technique. Yeah, that's the way to not solder. That is most definitely the way to not solder. What happened there was I messed up and melted the white metal and corrected it in a way that really is not a good idea, but something needed to happen. Evidently, I have a Canon printer and I have no problems with it. Just saying.
When said on first reference.
I used to have an Epson as well, but I also had no problems with that.
Just regarding yesterday's conversation about yesterday's design.
Yep. But yeah, do not ever solder the way I just soldered. I melted the buffer beam and I did my best to correct it, and I think I've managed to sort it okay. Although I also think I filled the hole at the back of the buffer shank where the buffer goes through.
Well, I've just been sitting here wondering why I've got a slight tummy ache because it's actually I need the loose time here.
Christopher will be right back after these messages. I don't know what these messages are. I don't have any to give you.
I've got one.
So he'll be back at some point soon.
I've got one. Always remember to ask yourself what the British officers in the war must ask themselves. Am I being offensive enough? Sorry, am I being as offensive as I might be? That's
I think it's coming up bedtime for me. Good night. Oh, good night, Linny. Thank you for coming. It has been great to have you here.
I thought it was on your instructions.
No, unfortunately not. That's been up there for a while, that has.
Right. I was going to hobble off upstairs.
Enjoy. I'll put my pliers over here. I want them in the other side. And I'm going to stick some flux on there. And this time, we're going to try and not melt the buffer beam. I've just realised why I melted the buffer beam. You see, everyone, the thing about soldering white metal is you're meant to turn the soldering iron back down and not have it at 400 degrees. That's why I melted the buffer beam. I approve of not melting the buffer beam. Yes, so do I. Not enough flux. No, definitely. Yeah. Hydration is important. Hydration is very important. Yes, James, 400 degrees. Dear goodness me, it's a wonder that only the buffer beam melted. Isn't it just? Isn't it just? I feel rather silly for doing that. But I got it repaired. It's okay. I think and hope it's okay anyway. I do need to drill the hole back through because I've managed to fill that. But again, the temperatures we're talking about here is not surprising that that's happened. So yes, now that the buffer shanks are on, we want to get the axle boxes on and get some bearings in them. Just waiting for a here's Johnny off of Christopher with the way he was going to enter the room there.
That's what I kept doing to my brother and his friend the other day who came back from work. I opened the room door, saw them sitting there, and just closed it again, walked away, and did it like 2 or 3 times. So I really nervous about what I was thinking.
Do they call you Mr. Fahrenheit? Excellent. Brilliant Queen references. Do not stop me now. Actually, I mean, you can if you want. So you know how I
What do you want, folks? Shall I do it to him?
so you know how I melted the buffer beam a bit?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd forgotten to turn the soldering iron down.
Plank.
Much to be said for a good axle box. Indeed, there is. And hopefully these are good axle boxes. There's 3 of them. There's 5 of them. And there's 6 of them. So these are done on here so that we have 2 types of axle boxes. Where's my bit of card? There's my bit of card. Where's me pokey things? There's me pokey things.
Stop lying for science.
So this axle box has a nice round hole. This axle box has an elongated oval hole. So there's 4 of these with the round hole, 2 with the elongated hole. Obviously they go in the middle to allow the middle set of wheels to go up and down and cope with the sort of track I lay. Certainly look like good axle boxes. They do look like good axle boxes. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus. Because they do indeed say
Sorry.
SE&CR across them. They are fantastic. They are great castings. They're extremely impressive. What I am going to do though is find some bearings to put in them. There are my decent bearings.
Wild hand appears.
Well, I do have 3 hands.
Ah.
4 hands. And now you know my secret.
That's why you mucked those bits up tonight. You trying to coordinate them all.
So yes, let's get some axle boxes done.
And Mr. Pets approves of 4 hands.
Excellent. Well, now you all know my secret and how I do so much. It's the 4 hands. It really does help. Makes it really confusing when you're playing golf though.
Play 2 games at once. Hands versus hands.
Every so often you hear someone shouting 4. You're not sure if they're about to hit the ball or if they've just noticed how many hands you've got.
Yeah, you play hands versus hands. Have the German Industrial Championship on your own.
So on the frames as well, you can see that we have round holes at front and back and the elongated hole in the middle. Imagine it makes riding a bicycle a little complex too. No, I just have to ride a tandem bicycle. That becomes more complicated by only having 2 legs, unfortunately. What I need is some spare knees.
You say that, I can see a half octopus. At least I hope that's what
They don't fit through there, so these have to go through first, and then the bearings go in from the inside. I've broke him again. Wouldn't need 4 legs for that, or you could be an octopus and ride 2 tandems at once. Look at that, he's getting our jokes before he even gets to hear them.
Yeah.
You're obviously on the same wavelength as James.
Oh god. James, you have my sympathy. I was sure I should call him Mr. Pets. I don't know why. I think it's the image. You chappy. Oh, childish. I'm so Charles. Is it so Charles? Where are your sunglasses?
So they go in like that.
That word's not right.
In theory.
Translation is like your glasses.
Think that the orangutan is back.
You know, James, it's people like you that cause the rest. And with the cause of me getting hit on the knee by a hammer.
No, you caused that yourself.
No.
Nothing to do with me. I deny all knowledge and responsibility. Maybe. So, there are
Here's a question: is it?
our axle boxes in place. No, neither do I, James. Neither do I. We're just discussing how we don't recommend getting hit
I
in
know,
the knee
I can
by a
read.
hammer.
Funny they teach us to do that in the business.
Really? Is that new to the curriculum for you guys there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was a south of London thing.
No, it's new to curriculum. I mean, fortunately, you see, I wasn't taught before. I used to hate that at school. Let's all do a class reading and like some
God, they were always terrible.
idiots just sat there, and then they said it gets your turn, and because naturally you've read about 5 chapters ahead, you have to go back and try and find out where they are.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
And then you get told, because like, oh, you've not been paying attention. No, I've read the book. Reading is one of the most important skills you can learn.
Where did I put the wheels?
Education is important.
Education is almost as important as hydration. Well, hey, I'm glad Christopher's here because he just found the wheels.
Oh, good, we stand by that.
If you're going to hit yourself on the knee with hand tools, you should at least use a nice pair of pliers. Shall we try that one out?
Shall we not? Otherwise, I'll have to stick those wheels in that land.
I just dropped them all everywhere. And the unfortunate thing about wheels is when you drop them, they roll.
Gary, we got them.
No, 2 actually.
Come
Back here.
Every time Andy hears your name, all he can think of is the private call about the pigeons. It's like, Gary!
Brilliant.
One of the funniest videos on the internet.
It is pretty funny.
Get cracks on the boys.
To be fair, whether it hurts will depend largely on how hard you hit yourself in the knee with said hand tools. Yes, this is true.
Well,
This is
James,
very true.
James, you see, one of the bits you're missing here is that I didn't hit myself in the knee.
No, I think you did.
Not being a total moron. And of course, using moron in its Welsh connotation there. Carrots. Well, I haven't Tito Welsh words on it. The more I remember, it's more. Can't think why.
No, I can't imagine why either.
It's probably not that moron in Welsh, it's probably moron or something.
Probably. This is going...
I'll tell you what is going.
Well...
It's when you come down here, you end up buying things you never intended to.
Yeah, you do.
Such as,
But wasn't it fantastic?
Such as 080 tank engines of the SNCF.
But wasn't it a fantastic SNCF tank engine?
Is it in HO gauge?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I've actually checked the gauge. I thought.
No, I checked the gauge before showing it to you.
Alright. Alright, well, that's alright.
I mean, I was just trying to show you something in comparison to that £300 one I'd seen a second ago.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a very nice looking little tank engine.
I want to see the original listing. Can I have to look at what I bought?
Is the Epson Expression Photo XP 1500 any good? Might it be any good for photographic back scenes?
Don't know.
I had an Epson Expression Photo XP something before my current printer, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I only got rid of it because the ink was so expensive, but it was a fantastic printer.
It's got coaches. I honestly, I don't know. We have a range of them in the college, so.
I think mine was a 750 or something. It was certainly a much lower number than that.
He's got a chain. Go in the other one.
Right. I'm going to get these axle boxes soldered on. I'm going to get the wheels fitted, and I think I'm going to have to end the stream early. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling great. It probably shows. I was feeling great when we started. I don't know what's come over me. Hopefully I don't need my neck cracked open and a slice of lime shoved down there.
No, I'm going to make a bill and beat up. You've got idiot's disease off me. That's what
I think it's probably more just lack of sleep, to be honest, rather than anything else. Maybe it's too much flux. It could be too much flux. I've had I've breathed in a fair amount of that tonight. But let's get the wheels in this thing. I want to get the wheels on. Made good progress. Tender's looking decidedly tenderish. It is. It's looking very tender. I'm really happy with how it's coming on tonight. Despite my many little mess ups, which I think are to do with how I'm feeling more than anything else. No. There's the problem. No, actually, not you. So, do you want to be the problem? Fine, Christopher, you can be the problem.
Yay!
But by the problem, I assume you mean LNWR 222.
Exactly. Which, once and for all, people, means mathematical problem, not anything else. There was also a locomotive of the same class called equation.
There was. These are true facts, as the kids would say.
You are joking.
I would point out to the kids that all facts are true, because if it's not true, it's not a fact. I'm not joking. I am Gary. Pleased to meet you.
Engineers?
Go on.
Did you look to see where it comes from?
No.
Should we just say I'm in the same town as it right now?
Seriously?
Yeah. Looking as well as other items.
Anything good? Go pick it up on your way home.
Yeah. Can I have it now?
Also known as Lady of the Lake class. Was it?
Yes.
I did not know they were the same class of engine.
Yes, because you could also then get improved problems or improved ladies. Yes.
I knew there were improved problems and improved. I didn't realise they were the same class.
Yes. Yes, they are the same class. I think one's technically like a nickname, one's. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the same place, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's worth contacting them, just saying, look.
That is indeed jolly old Hicktown.
Saves you some dollar from posting it. Apparently the cab's loose and the motor don't do it.
Interesting. Not aware of improved problem, improved lady class. How were they improved?
Superheating. Mostly.
Oh, what? So you mean they learned from the Brighton and improved those as well? So superheating. It's super. Not all superheaters wear capes. In fact, it's more common that they don't. Really, Christopher? believe he's fallen asleep. Oh, there we go. That one's gone in now. Now that's gone in, I'm going to solder it before it falls back out. Superheating on an engine originally built in 1850s. How long did they last?
They were rebuilt in 1895.
Rebuilt 1895, followed by lots of strange noises, apparently.
They gained an increased heating surface in pressure of 150 pounds per square inch, and the driving wheels had new 3-inch tyres which brought the diameter up to 7 foot 9 inches. Whatever the economics of it might have been, the rebuilding, in particular fitting of short engines, greatly enhanced the facilities like the little engines. They became much in demand as mainline pilots. So they would have lasted.
That moment you realise you've soldered the wrong one
well,
in
if
place.
you wanted to know how long they lasted, there is a photograph here of one in 1910.
So they lasted till at least 1910.
Piloting.
By which time, of course, the LNWR were fitting superheating, having discovered its advantages from the exchange trials with the Brighton in 1909.
And it's piloting number 61 Phosphorus, piloting the Up Irish Mail at Holyhead.
Not want to get that over you, would you?
As you want, look at that. Look. There's one in the if you play the railway.
Yes, the I3 on Sunny South Express. Exactly.
If you play Trains, the game, Trains 19 or Trains New Era, and you search EDH6 on the download station, they actually do a. That is something because I don't actually know what doesn't really matter. It's not really pertinent to the thing, but anyway, username EDH6, so that's Echo Delta Hotel 6. They actually do a London North Western Railway problem Software the Lake for the game, which is very high quality, for free on the download station, and also an Alfred the Great class as well. So yeah, and also if you like your pre-grouping, that's a great person to go and look up because Highland, Caledonian, North British, London South Western.
Oh, this is that person.
Yes, the one that's done everything but awesome for free.
And their quality is pretty impressive.
It is. Working valve gear. Visible working gear.
Who wouldn't like pre-grouping? What's not to like? Exactly, James.
Yeah. It's this person is the reason why I like the Highland Railway. Because I'm playing with their stuff. Behave yourself.
I am.
Mr. Hyena.
No, that's you. You're the hyena.
That was actually my nickname at Beavers.
I can see why.
We went on a night hike, and someone made it. So I think one of the leaders fell over and slid down the hill. And I found it hilarious.
I can see why you were nicknamed that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
All the kind of nicknames I've had.
Certainly better than some of the ones I've had. And that is why you look at what you're doing. Because rumour has it. So sorry to break in the middle of my sentence there. But Christopher's about to see why I did. That was in my t-shirt.
What?
Yes. For those wondering what was in my t-shirt. Top hat bearing. It was in my t-shirt. Because of course it was.
What did your t-shirt roll for, really?
This is true. Not that it needs any help with rolls. There's enough of them there.
I love social rolls.
Yes, I believe that's part of the problem.
No. 7'9" driving wheels were part of the problem.
Aha!
Guess who's learned a new fact in the past 5 minutes?
Was it you?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Bless him.
So I've got to get myself ready to go out to the Midlands tomorrow. Done down again.
Comes down south, learns stuff. Goes back to the Midlands. Forgets it all.
Twice anyway.
Typical.
Horror.
Yeah, that's what we all think when we have to go to the Midlands.
Oh, no, I like the Midlands.
Yeah, I know you do.
I like the way I care to admit it.
Feelings, I know.
What, you got hit down more than you care to admit? He's shaking his head for everyone wondering.
No, I'm not.
No, I was trying to back you up there. You don't care to admit it. Oh, really helpful last night, by the way. Yeah, you said we stayed late already.
Yeah,
Well, you know the mini garage?
yeah.
Someone was been looking at one of the cars in the showroom and left the headlights on and left them on high beam.
That was nice of them.
Yeah, so it's blinding everyone going down the road that way. Including me.
So it wasn't the one that hangs upside down then that they leave on all the time.
No, it was one closest to the window in the showroom, right way up.
Nice.
So I know they're plugged in, which is fortunate for that really, because there's no battery left.
You say fortunate, but if they weren't plugged in, they'd have no battery left and the lights would have gone out.
That's true.
Splendid, just ordered the Epson printer for click and collect. Joy, excellent.
Oh, good luck.
I hope it goes well for you.
Yep. Might be in contact, don't we? Give it a print.
I am really struggling with these bearings in these oval holes.
Would it be best to leave the bearings and call it quits?
No.
No. Okay. Just see, I gave him the option there, folks. And that's why he's the master. He's tenacious. And I've never seen such concentration. That's the first time I've seen a tongue come out that far in many a year. Stop it, you'll lick it.
Two with bearings on both sides, just this one to go.
That's there being bears in here, aren't we?
No.
Bear with me a minute.
Oh dear, that fell.
You're going to call it Aragon.
No.
You fell.
Sorry, what was it you said earlier? Oh, that's right. Nerd!
Yep. Your task is to watch these two guys live stream. What sort of people are they? Standard nerds.
Indeed. Oh, thank you for putting all those links up, for the links there, James. Much appreciated. There we go.
Hang on, you've seen James Alex in the same room together before.
It's on its wheels.
Oh! Another good news as well. Look at that.
And there we have a South Eastern and Chatham D class.
Woohoo! There's no way to clap without making it sound sarcastically clapping on your own, is there?
No, there isn't. Never. So, yes. It is nearly 11:30. We've nearly made a full length stream.
Yeah. Technically, you have done 3 hours. including the pre-stream chat.
Yeah, I don't include pre-stream chat.
Well, I am for the sake of this one.
I would like to remind everyone, hydration is highly important. Impressively complete for 5.5 hours. Isn't it just? I'm really happy with how it's looking. Oh, I acquired something the other day, James, so we can have a look at it on stream. And that being the GW wheel press, because I know you were having problems with yours in the past. So I've got this. I've got a loco with Gibson wheels, so that we can have a look on stream and get it sorted so that you can use it without difficulty in future, hopefully. GW wheel press of doom. Yes, although I got this one cheap, having had to borrow one before. But this one came up, it was cheap, so I grabbed it. Very happy I did. I've since just bought Market's wheels. Yeah, fair enough. Can't say I blame you. But if we can get it through and teach you how to use it properly, then it's not a restriction you have in the future. I've only borrowed one so far. Yeah, that's what I used to do. But now I've got my own. I need to get one of their riveting tools as well at some point. But yes, I would like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I would like to apologise for ending early, but
I'd like to apologise for myself.
yeah, we'll apologise for Christopher being here. But yeah, I don't know what it is, but
Me.
about 10 o'clock I started coming over feeling really lightheaded, and honestly, I can't carry on anymore. So, yes.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. You are all awesome. I do really appreciate it.
Remember to smash that like button.
Smash the like button.
Tell your friends if you're new. Please subscribe.
Yeah, all these things he's saying. There will be a video on Tuesday with another update to the K class. There'll be a video on Thursday if I remember to record it.
I'll make sure you record it, folks.
And yes, model looks stunning. Thank you, Heritage Railway Productions. That is greatly appreciated. But yes, for now, everyone, thanks for watching and good night.
Good night.